You ready? Yeah. Hello everyone, hope you're doing alright. I'm going to talk a little bit about the 8 months I spent working with an NGO in a refugee camp in Inofita, which is a little shit industrial town, an hour and a half south of Athens. A pretty inappropriate place for a refugee camp, but it is there. We left, me and my wife, who's here this evening, Nick, we left in 2017, which was a time when the refugee crisis was in all of the news, all over the media, before all of this other stuff like Brexit and shit's come along and just wiped it out, and now that's not important. But then it was really important. And so we really went there. The motivations were kind of just a feeling of desperation that as a country here, we were dealing with it so badly. We were really not doing anything about it. We weren't taking in any refugees compared to all the other countries, despite having this massive economy. So we were just like feeling guilty about it. We were like, well, we'll just drive our rusty old yellow van down to Greece and see how we can help. Which in some ways was quite naive, but we did it anyway. Partly it was naive because we thought, yeah, we're going to Greece, great, it's going to be sunny, we'll just take all our shorts and stuff. And then, like 5 days later, we were snowed in on the side of a mountain in Italy. This was Italy, and we were here for 3 days until the snow melted and we could get out. But yeah, and then got to Greece, and it was a pretty simple story. The snow was just melting, it was raining, but we drove through the gates of Inofita anyway, and arrived. And this is Inofita. It's a derelict warehouse, beautifully sandwiched between 2 motorways, and this houses 600 refugees. It was split into little rooms which were 3 meters by 3 meters, which is like this from here, like to kind of here, a little bit further, by that again. And in that you'd have your family, so you'd have your like 3, 4, 5 kids, and you'd have your parents. And they were just sort of put in there and not really given anything to do. They weren't able to work or anything, so that was kind of what we were doing there. Because I think what surprised us was the length of time people were going to be there, really. It was like, we got there, most people had been there for about a year, they were going to be there for another year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, they didn't really know. And also, I guess what was surprising was that they did actually have quite a lot of stuff. Like, they had a lot of food, or enough food to survive, they had water, like those weren't the issues, they had enough pairs of Crocs to shoe an army, because every NGO that comes through, they raise all this money and they buy all these sandals and they give them the sandals and they're like, great, I'll put them on the pile with all my other sandals. And then they don't address the actual problem, that there's all these people living in this massive warehouse, they're not allowed to work, they're not allowed to do anything, they're all these highly skilled carpenters and tailors and all the electricians, all these other things, and they can't really do anything with those skills. And that's the issue, that's much more difficult to deal with than to raise money for than Crocs. So what attracted us to go work at this camp is it was quite unique. It was run by an NGO from America called Do Your Part. It was the only camp that they had. And they had a real attitude of, rather than just giving them loads of stuff, we're going to try and empower people to sort of take control of their own lives through giving them opportunities to work and also opportunities to just create a better space out of something that's pretty horrible. So I got asked to set up a carpentry workshop, Neil got asked to set up a tailor's workshop, which is a totally different story. And so we got given a space to set this thing up so people could build stuff for their rooms, which didn't have anything in, and they could sort of make the camp a better place. They could build shelters or just get their hands on the tools, get busy, that sort of thing. So we were given this container, given 2 drills, a bit of wood, and that was pretty much it, and just said go for it. So on the first day, I opened the doors, 20 people turned up, they were like, great, we want to be building stuff, yeah. And that was kind of how it went from then on. Just everyone was so keen. Like after a year of sitting on their ass doing nothing, these super skilled people, you know, they were given this opportunity and they were just like, boom, the camp just like turned into a different place. So this is it on the first day when like people started to get up. And I thought I'd just show you off. So first of all, we got a delivery of scrap wood, and this was from a company called Isobox, and they were handily placed next door to us, and they were a company that make Isoboxes, which is a big prefabricated box, and they so happened to supply all of the refugee agencies across Europe. So they said they could have they said we could have all their offcuts, which I think is fair enough given how much money they made out of the refugee crisis. But it was good for us as well. And on the first day we made a sign which sort of legitimised everything. And it took us ages to translate it, and eventually we got near to what we thought Carpentry Workshop was in Farsi. And this is a great example actually, because we wanted to make a sign, and then this Iranian woman came up, and she's like, I'm a sign maker. And we're like, oh, great. So just get me a hacksaw and a bit of soap, and I'll just make you signs. And she made signs for everything in the whole camp. These like beautifully carved and painted Farsi signs, which was pretty amazing. This was Jawed. He came and made some benches for the sewing room. This was an ironing board. This was a sort of food shelf thing. Yeah, this was ingenious. This was built from one of the camp beds that they got when they first arrived, and then just made into a sort of card table, because they liked, there was a sort of illegitimate poker scene in the camp. And yeah, he was making one for them. This was an orange press, again made out of a camp bed, which is pretty ingenious, because that's one thing Greece has got a lot of, is oranges. This is like a sort of turning wheel thing, but powered by a drill, so then we could essentially make whatever we wanted out of that. Like, yeah, just the whole time I was just learning off these people. I was like, I can't believe I'm in this situation. And then they'd be like, oh, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I was like, literally, I've given you like 2 drills, and that's it, you do the rest. But yeah, and this is a box someone made, which is quite funny, because that in Farsi reads, please do not use this wood. And that was on this pile of wood, which was outside. So yeah, about halfway through, we decided that what was really needed, and what the residents thought was really needed, was like a community garden. So we got it together to get a bit of money together so you could buy some timber, but generally just using pallets and that. And started to build a community garden, which everyone got stuck in with, everyone got involved with, and it really felt like at this point people were starting to take a bit of ownership over this space. I mean, I admit, no one wants to be in that situation. I don't even want to be there. I don't want to have to go there because of this refugee crisis. But this is the situation, and people were starting to sort of deal with that and accept it. So yeah, it just flicked through a few photos. That was the roof going on. Yeah, and we got the school involved. There was a school in the camp run by, again, volunteers, and we got the kids to come along, plant seeds, help us in the garden, partly selfishly, because otherwise they just trash it, but partly just because it was really cool to get them involved, and they got really into it, and they were the ones then protecting it from the sort of rowdy adults, and like, whoa, watch our flowers, look, we planted those. So yeah, that was really cool. We got some of the teenagers to spray paint the pagoda thing, which in the end turned out really cool. They also unauthorised spray painted some other stuff, but we don't talk about that. And yeah, it just sort of created a community space out of something that was really shit. We kind of together created something that was good. Yeah. And I think together the residents and us sort of made the best out of this situation. And the sort of sad ending of that is that I went back out to Inofita about 6 months after we came back. And the Greek government, in all their wisdom, they decided to shut the camp because they didn't think that this was a fit place for human beings to live, which is fair enough. It was a rubbish location for anyone to live, but we made the best of it. 2 months after they closed it, and they kicked out all of the NGOs, they got rid of all the infrastructure, they torn out all the heating and the toilets and all of the other stuff, they got rid of the council, they kicked all the existing residents out. They were like, but there's all these other refugees coming to Greece, so we're going to have to reopen it. So they reopened it, put 600 people back in it, without a sense of community, without all this infrastructure in place, and it was complete bedlam. So yeah, I guess the whole point of this is, I think, when you do things together, the actual act of doing them, you create something more beautiful than the actual thing. And I hope we did that.